if you don't understand what I'm going to teach you in this video, it's going to be very, very hard for you to turn your melodies, your loops into actually fully fledged beats that artists will want to make songs over, or beats that you can make songs over. So the first thing that you need to understand is, yo Wagwan, hope you're having a great day. Now in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to turn a 4-bar loop or 8-bar loop, well, I think in this one I've actually got a 2-bar loop, into a fully fledged song. Okay, I feel like, did I get a question asking this, or is this just something that I know that people struggle a lot with? I think this is just something that I understand people struggle a lot with. It's something that I had struggles with in the past, but I'm going to be showing you how to take your melody that you've got and turn it into an actual song. I'm going to be teaching you the process that I use to go about doing this, and I'm going to be walking you through one of my favorite beats that I've actually made a song to, that I feel I came up with like a 2-bar melody and then I extended it to an 8-bar melody. I'm going to show you how to do that as well, how to make your 2-bar melodies an 8-bar melody and make it more interesting so that it's not boring over the long haul of your song, because that's very, very important. Okay, so if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business, and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel, because you will love it here, guaranteed. Now we got that out of the way. Question of the day is, how long do you make your melodies generally? Do you usually do like a 2-bar loop? Is it a 4-bar loop? Is it an 8-bar loop? Let me know down below, okay? So let's get into one of my favorite beats. Did I turn my speakers off? Yeah, I did. So let me put on my headphones and I'm gonna play this back a little bit. Actually, should I play it back for you? I don't know. First, let's start with the loop, innit? Because I had this set up so that you can hear the actual loop that we've got going on here. This is what I started out with. And then I realized that just using this would make it a little bit boring. So I edited it a little bit, and I'm going to show you how we got to that. But this is the basic loop of this song, okay? So let me play this back for you. Very, very simple 3-chord progression with a little bit of melody going on at the end. If I bring this up, this is what you'll see. This is the basic melody. So it's dun 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 dun, and then like this is what I had at first. And the main thing, like the biggest thing that I can teach you that will help you out a lot, even if I don't teach you how to actually make your melodies more interesting, because I will teach you that. But the first thing, if you got a small melody like that, the first thing you need to know is layering, okay? Layering is going to be your best friend. Different layers, playing the same melody is how you can differentiate different parts of your beat with the same loop, basically. So if you're using an audio loop that you bought from somewhere, this isn't really going to apply to you. This video is more about melodies that you create yourself, loops that you create yourself, so that you have the MIDI and you're able to put it in different layers. So let's actually walk through the song, okay? So I'm going to mute this and we're going to basically play through the song and you'll hear what's going on. I'll bring it to the chorus, and then a little bit past the chorus. There might be a little bit of glitching because Ozone's on and I'm recording as well. And then I'm going to go into in depth and show you how I turned that small melody into an 8-bar loop that's actually way more interesting, and how I went from that to making a full beat and making a beat that's also interesting and doesn't get boring. So let's play this back. This is called Ray Cooking. See, glitched out. Let's bring it back from here. And a little bit later in the video, I'll show you a preview of the actual song that I created using this, so you'll know that this is a beat that can be rapped over, that I feel like I rapped pretty well over this beat, to be honest. And yeah, let's just get into it, okay? So first of all, as I showed you, the 2 bar loop that I started with, basically, and then I stretched that out 2, 4, 6, 8 into a 8 bar loop, like so. But really, this is like double time. So is this even an 8 bar loop? It's more a 4 bar loop, and this is more like 1 bar. So it's more turning 1 bar into 4 bars. But let's bring it up, innit? So let's bring up the melody so you can see what's going on here. So I'm not going to go through all the instruments that I used and all that sort of stuff because I don't think that's necessary. But I feel like walking you through the melody and how we got here is going to be very, very interesting. So first of all I did was I copied over this main melody. I copied that over 4 times, yeah? This is also an octave higher because I like to put my things an octave higher, turn it into audio and pitch it down because it just gives a nice rustic feel. But then I copied it over 4 times and then I just edited the last bar of this, or yeah, it's the last bar of this, and just added some slight variation. So I didn't go too crazy, just added some slight variation. It's pretty much the same as before, but the end notes, instead of going dun 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 dun, it goes dun 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 dun. So, and that leads very well back into, the beginning. So these are the types of things that you want to do. And what this does, yeah, when you have like a 2 bar loop like this and you copy it over 4 times and you just add some, a 1 bar loop, I guess. When you have a 1 bar loop and you copy it over 4 times, turn it into a 4 bar, and you add some variation at the end, it makes it repetitive enough to be catchy, but also it makes it interesting as well. So if you've only got like a 1 or 2 bar loop, don't be mad at that, because that can actually make your beat a whole lot better because it's super simple and it will make it very, very catchy so that when people listen to it, it will stick in their minds. Okay, so this is the main melody that we've got. This is the melody. We've got, bass notes down here, and then we're done. We're done with the melody at this point. All it is from now is copying it to different instruments. Now, I'm not going to show you the exact instruments that I use because I don't think that's necessary for this particular video. Use the instruments that you got in it. But I'm going to show you the type of instruments that I got. So first of all, we've got the guitar, because I was just making a bunch of guitar beats and I like guitars. So this is the guitar that we got. And as you can see, it says new melody because I actually did just, like, I was just using this 1 bar loop throughout the whole thing, but then I realized it got a little bit boring without that variation. So I had to go back in there and add that variation, and it made a world of difference. So a little bit of variation. You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to have variation in every second bar or something. Like, you don't need variation right here, but if you have the same thing for like 3 bars and then a 4th bar you got some variation, it makes a world of difference and it keeps it very, very catchy. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I make all my melodies in FL keys, and then I bring it to the main instrument. So the main instrument was the guitar. Then for the verse, we've got this I think it's the reverse key in Analog Lab, and this is what this sounds like. And then we've also got, I believe this is the ARP. So I always use the ARP. I just use the exact same melody. Sometimes if there's too much going on, I'll have to get rid of some notes and just make it just the chords. But usually I'll just copy the melody to an ARP. I use the same ARP every time, Astral Visions 1 in Omnisphere, because it's just the one that works and I haven't got bored of it yet. So I use that ARP, and this is what it sounds like with the well, let me just get rid of that basically. I feel like I just used the normal melody and I didn't actually go back and change this because it wasn't necessary because it's an ARP. So this is what this sounds like. It's just this one bar melody again over and over again. And then when you bring that together, it has it just adds a little bit more melodic element to make it seem a whole lot more interesting than the 3 minor chords that it is. Well, I don't know if they're minor chords, but I mean like just 3 chords, and I'm not doing a bunch of stuff in the 3 simple chords. I mean, it adds movement and interest and air candy. And then we have these vocal chops, which have nothing to do with the melody. I just went into Arcade and found some vocal chops, and these work really, really well. And this is what I came up with. As you can see, I'm using the exact same philosophy that I use in our main melody. Repetitive. We're repeating the same thing 3 times, and then on the last 4th bar, we've got a change up. So it's very repetitive, very catchy, but it's still interesting because it's not the same thing all the way through. If it was the same thing for the whole 4 bars, it would be a little bit boring. You got to have some variation in there somewhere. Sometimes you don't need to, but this is how you can make sure that every time you make a beat, it's going to sound interesting, okay? So up here, I think we've got the up as well, again, but at a higher octave. So this is what that sounds like. And that's just this same arp at a higher octave. So keep that in mind. Just moving different parts to a different octave creates a whole different feeling and different vibe. So you can use that to make your different sections sound more interesting and turn that 4-bar loop into a full song and make it just have more elements with the same exact melody. Like, you don't need to go crazy. You don't need to add a bunch of different alternative melodies and counter melodies and stuff like that. Nope, I don't do none of that most of the time. It's just copying the same melody to different layers, and when you bring it all together, it gives you a nice lovely tone like this. Actually, let's show the difference between like this half going into that half. So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll give you a little bit. You'll see how it raises the energy when everything else comes in, when the higher octave stuff comes in. And something that's also very, very important is the drums. But let's go through all the melodies before we get to the drums. So in the chorus, I believe this is the same chord up from before. Yeah, I don't know why it's got a completely different name. I believe it's the exact same. No, that sounds different. I don't know where this chord up comes from. Maybe this is half-timed a little bit. Let me check. Let's see if I got any halftime on here. Nope, doesn't look like it. I'm not 100% sure where this is from or what I did to change the actual melody, but it's basically just an ARP again with a little bit of variation on the ARP that we had before. Generally, I just use the exact same ARP. I use the higher ARP in the chorus parts most of the time, as you can see over here. And we also have some chorus bells to just bring out the main melody a little bit. and I didn't go back and add the new melody to the chorus bells because they're just like an accent to like bring out the main melody. So it's not really necessary as long as the main melody has has the variation and whatnot and is interesting, it will carry everything. So if we play this together, let's play all the melodies without the drums right now. This is what it sounds like. Like you won't even notice that the chorus bells didn't follow that because it just blends so seamlessly. So that's all the melodic elements, okay? All I did was use the same exact melody, yeah, and copy it to different layers. Now, obviously, you know, these 1 bar melodies aren't the exact melody, but it's like the melody from the beginning. Then I edited it because I realized that was too boring. So this same exact melody basically is the one that I'm using throughout the main song and whatnot. Now, drums, very, very important because drums really differentiate what's going on in your beat. But honestly, I don't want to get too deep into drums here because I feel like I can do a fully fledged video on drums and I don't want to make this video too long. But watch my video on beat transitions. That will help out a lot. And that will basically give you most of what you need to know about drums. But if we just get into this from the jump, this is how this starts. So if you watch my transition video, you'll learn about, you know, these beat transitions and how I bring the 808 in at like a weird time like this. Or I generally like to start with the hi-hats and most of the drums. And then, well, the hi-hats, I've got hi-hats always throughout the entire beat. Like I don't get rid of hi-hats. Like my style is just hi-hats all over the gaff, innit? So we start with the clap hi-hats and then we bring in the 808. And then in the second verse, and then like after 4 bars, which is when we start to do our change up. You want to have a change up every 4 bars. We take out some of the hi-hats. And I don't know, that really doesn't need to be there because that's not really taking out anything. But the hi-hats stop at the clap, which I love. But I keep the 808s riding, so it flows very well and it doesn't actually stop the groove of anything. And then before we get to the pre-chorus, which has our synth bass, which I didn't talk about, but that just follows the bass element, so that's not super important. But having a synth bass, I'd like to do that with my pre-chorus because it just makes everything sound epic and it's a clear differentiation from the 808s and whatnot. But synth basses to me is like, it gives me pop vibes basically. So that's what I like that's why I like synth basses. So this is, you know, the transition into the synth bass. This is called Ray Cooking. And you can hear that it's a different element of the song, different part of the song. And then in the chorus, we have everything stopping at the clap again. And then right back into, you know, the hype of stuff. And then in the second verse, instead of starting everything with the hi-hats and claps, we start everything with the 808s and we bring the hi-hats and claps in after. This is just the method that I've been using for like all my recent beats. In the first verse, we have the hi-hats and claps hitting, bring the 808 in after. In the second verse, we have the 808 hitting and bring the clap and the hi-hats and the rest of the drums in after. So this is that. Okay, so that's exactly what you need to know in order to turn your looped melody into an actual beat. You need to do layering. You need to have a little bit of alteration, a little bit of, what's the word? Variation, there we go. A little bit of variation just to keep things moving so that they're not the same thing all the way through, but not too much, because if you do too much, then it won't be catchy. So the fact that you've already got a small loop, it gives you an advantage, because if you use that small loop and you just extend it out a little bit and have a little bit of variation at like the 4th bar, it will be very, very catchy. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah. And add in different elements like the vocal chops and stuff to just make things stand out a little bit more, to be like, hey, we've got a different section of the beat, and add in like synth bass as well to differentiate that section. Moving up and down in octaves really makes a difference. For example, generally I'll have my chorus at a higher octave than the verse, and I'll just bring everything down for the verse. What I've been doing these days is I've just been copying my main melody to a bell patch in Omnisphere that works really well for my verses. I love the way it sounds, but it will be at a lower octave than the chorus. The chorus will be like at an octave higher, and then when the verse comes in, it's at a lower octave, so that you know there's a little bit less energy here. It's a little bit more laid back, okay? So that's that. This is another beat structuring tutorial, I guess. But let me quickly show you the example of the song, the draft that I've got going on here, so you can hear how I flow to this song. Because I just, like, when I made this beat, yeah, I was like, oh, wow, I need to rap to it. Yeah? It just inspired me, and I went straight into Studio One and started recording. And I just went with whatever. Like, I wasn't like, I got to make a song about this or whatever. I just went with whatever was on my mind. So let's get up. Did I finish this yet? Nah, I haven't even done the last thing. Yeah, so this is the only one I haven't finished to the mix and master level where the draft is done. But you can listen to the lyrics and see what you think. Let me know in the comment section down below. But this is just to illustrate how this beat, it can be rapped over, innit? Like, because that's the whole point. You want to make beats that people can make songs over. So let's play it.
No regrets, I live life with no regrets. I move like I know what's next. See my future, loads of checks. Observation, red eye flex. Number 2 on every X. Cut her off if she brings stress. New one kissing on my neck. Pinky ring, she like the feel of metal on her skin. All these L's I went through, I got no choice but to win. I do what I say, I'm like the label on a tin. You can have your way, but you cannot have everything. Could've had the world, but then you settled for an acre. Short term thinking made you miss an open layer. I need what you're drinking, got a hot one coming later. Let the moment sink in, turn the lover to a hater. Thought you were the one, you're just another one. All the love I had for you, I'm giving to another one. Just got me a good one, need another one. Cause having one is way too close to having none. Need a re-up on the one that's stuck inside my head. All we do is fucking treat each other with respect. She got me addicted, got me strung out on the bed. When she got the dick, her eyes rolled back inside her head. Want it back, I won't ever want it.
Yeah, so I could have played the whole song, but it'll be out at some point. If you really want to hear it, let me know, and I'll see what I probably won't do anything like that. But if you really want to hear it, let me know in the comment section down below, and then I'll just release it earlier, innit? I'll release it earlier because I'll know that people want it. But yeah, this is one of my new songs, which my new songs are always my favorite songs, innit? Because you evolve and you get better with every one that you make. But yeah, that's that. I hope that helped you out a lot. I'm sure it did, because this is like a game changer for me personally. I'm sure it's a game changer for you as well. If you want to learn my easy 9-step formula to creating your own trap beat from scratch, link down below, or go to jcarterray.com/free trap course. That's going to teach you a lot and teach you exactly how to go from nothing to creating the melody all the way to mastering your beat. So definitely go through that. It's free, so you're not losing anything. But if you want to get your beat half mixed before you even get to the mixing stage, link down below to my mixing templates as well. That's going to help you out a lot. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of heartache. Yeah, so definitely check that out. Links down below. If you got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in the next video where you'll learn more about music, online business, and online marketing. I'll see you there. Peace out.